All right, hey everybody. This is a little late. I've been having some technical difficulties, but this is going to be it, I'm pretty sure. So today I'm going to show you how to make a zombie head out of packing tape. So first you need to have something to put the packing tape on to make a skull shape. So I have a styrofoam skull, probably got it at Michael's, after one of these Halloweens in the past 3 or 4 years, that I use for a lot of things. And I'm using it as my model for my packing tape zombie head. And it doesn't have a bottom jaw, so that's okay. If you want a bottom jaw, you can find one with a bottom jaw. So the first thing I'm doing is wrapping the head with packing tape with the sticky side up first. And that is, and here I lost the end of the tape and I hate that. So sticky side up. And that is so that it does not stick to the styrofoam, because you're going to take the tape off the styrofoam once you're done putting it all on there. And now I'm putting the tape over the top of the sticky so that I can handle it. So putting the sticky side down. Now I'm poking him in the eye with some scissors, like you do, and pressing that down so I can put some tape on top. But I want to have those eye sockets visible as possible. So I cut that out so I could make it deeper into the eye socket, and now I'm poking my fingers into their eye socket. And now on the other side. So I have that nice skull shape with the eye sockets and with the nose and the spaces behind the cheekbones and all that kind of stuff. So here I'm finishing with the packing tape, putting it again, sticky side down, lost the end again. Happens a lot. Sticky side down so that I can handle the tape skull, and just putting a few layers on there so that it has some stiffness to it. You don't want it to be just one layer, because then it will just kind of fall apart. All right, so now I'm going to cut the tape off of the skull. So I'm just cutting underneath, and then I'm going to make a straight cut up the back of the skull, so that I can take it off of the styrofoam head and I can use that again. So this way, you can make as many zombie heads as you want. And I tore the tape a little bit there, so I put an extra layer on. If I had more tape, and I was running out of tape, so if I had more tape, I probably would have done a few more layers of the packing tape, but that's what we got. So, I'm making the cut and just up the back, so I'm going to peel it off the skull now. Ooh, peeling the skin off your face, and then we're gonna see what it looks like. Okay, so there we go. Looks pretty good. I'm shaping it out, and there is our tape skull made off of our skull model. Okay, so I'm just putting a couple of pieces of tape on where I cut to get it off of the skull. So that it doesn't kind of collapse on me, and it maintains that shape that I want. Okay, and just fixing it up there. And now I'm getting my trusty heat gun and some plastic grocery bags that, the ones that you forget your reusable grocery bags for. Eesh. But this is going to look like skin. Okay, so it's going to look like rotting skin off the bone. So you just lay it on top of the tape, and you have to be kind of careful because the tape itself obviously will melt as well. So you don't want to get it too hot. I suppose you could put something, like a rock or something underneath so it would keep its shape, but I'm just trying to make this fairly quickly. And I want to just layer it, and I'm not being too specific. I'm just throwing some pieces of plastic grocery bag up there and applying my heat gun and letting it kind of do what it's going to do. I'm not being too particular. It does get hot, so be careful. I have kind of asbestos fingers. I worked in food service and stuff a lot, and I don't know, I can handle hot things, but it does get very hot, so be careful. So again, just putting some pieces on to make it look like skin, and different parts of the skull, and just laying that down with the heat gun. It's going to stick to the tape. Now, what you're going to notice later is that, I'm making some cuts so that I because I lost some of the eye socket shape by putting the plastic on top. So trying to get rid of that and make sure that I have that skull shape still. I do lose some of the shape of the eye sockets because I got the heat gun a little bit close there, but it is a zombie, so you know, they're kind of messed up, right? So I got my trusty brown paper bags there from the grocery store, and I'm putting on kind of a burgundy or a fuchsia looking color down first, just to be as a first coat, because I kind of want that kind of pink color to show through. Now I'm going to put red on top. So there's a little bit of contrast there in the bottom layer of the quote-unquote skin over the top of the skull. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change between the red, and then this is a little bit of black, and I don't have a whole lot left, so I'm using it sparingly. But I'm going to alternate between the red, the black, and some white. Okay. I did want to use gray, but I'm actually out of my primer gray, so I just use my white. And as you can see, it's a really, really bright white. Some people might want to lay the white down first so that, you know, it looks like the skull is popping through. But I like to lay the reddish or pink layer down first. So here I go. I'm going around the skull with some red again, some black, giving it some texture, giving it some depth, so it doesn't just look kind of like there's just one layer, right? I want it to look like layers of skin and layers of rot and, you know, some bone poking through. And if you take a little bit more time with it, then you can make sure that those teeth are coming out, you know, and that kind of thing. And that's all depending on how much time you want to spend. But there I've got my gross kind of skin showing through. Now I'm taking a ping pong ball and I am going to make an eyeball that is pulled from the socket with the you know, with the optical nerve and all of the connecting tissue in the back. So I just put my ping pong ball down and put some plastic grocery bag on one side, and I'm melting that plastic grocery bag to the ping pong ball. And look, you probably don't want to do this inside because it does smell when you're melting plastic, right? So I'm outside doing this, and all right, so I'm melting the plastic bag onto my ping pong ball. It doesn't look the way I want it, so while it's still a little bit warm, I'm gonna tease it out. I'm gonna pull that plastic a little bit so it's longer, hang it up so I can get that kind of look like it's on that eye stalk, right? And now I'm twisting it together, and I'm gonna apply a little bit more heat so that that eye stalk really looks like it's something that kind of was hanging out of this zombie's head. So I'm happy with it. Now I'm going to paint that as well with the red, black, and white, and so that it, you know, it looks like it's been pulled from the zombie's head. Like I said, you might want to add, you know, some specific areas of bone on your zombie head to make that, if you make the eye stalk, make that stand out a little bit. But I'm painting the ping pong ball itself, and you'll notice that my ping pong ball got a little bit heated up, and that's okay because it's been pulled out of a zombie head. So I'm gonna poke it into the head. Get his eye socket with a scissor again. Poke it into the eye socket and just kind of turn it around until I like the way it's laying on the face. I love Halloween. And just give it a little bit more paint on the eyeballs so that it looks more like an eyeball. And of course, you know, at night when you've got these things kind of coming out of the ground with your zombie hands that, like I said, I'll do on another video, it looks super cool. You can do some uplighting. So, you know, if it's dark where you are, you can do some uplighting, or you can just put them, you know, around your house or wherever you're going to put them. But I'm putting some blood, you know, some bloodshot eyes on that ping pong ball eye, and trying to make that the way that I want it to be. So I'm gonna come after, so I'm twisting it a little bit so it sits where I want it to sit. I'm going to come after that with, ooh, with a Sharpie and draw my eye on the eyeball, the iris and the pupil. So I'm just gonna make the pupil, and then I actually made this eye yellow. So here we are, and I put it on the grill like you do. So it's a char-grilled zombie head made from packing tape and plastic bags. Happy Halloween, y'all. Have fun.